Maha Siddiqui, let's start the show with the Karnataka High Court that has resumed its hearing on the raging hijab controversy in Karnataka's pre-university colleges. The petitioner's lawyer has put forth an argument questioning the law and order issue cited by the state government over wearing of the hijab. Meanwhile, fiery protests have erupted across different parts of Karnataka. In Udupi's MGM College, a face-off erupted between two groups of students who were wearing saffron shawls and a group of girls wearing hijab. In Shivamogga, stone pelting incidents were reported at different places and 3 students have been reportedly injured as well. Now section 144, that is prohibitory orders, have been imposed in Shivamogga and Davangere in order to control the situation, and colleges have been shut for 2 days.
Already said what to be said. All the concerned people should keep peace and let the children do their education and studies. Exams are also coming. I appeal for all the people to keep peace, and the matter is coming before the High Court today. Let's wait for it.
It's our right. We have the right to wear our hijab. We have the right to do our education. We need our education. How are we supposed to choose for that? They were standing there and they started yelling. We were in the room. We were waiting for principal to come and talk to us, but he did not listen to us. Why are they implementing such rules right now, that when the college is going to end in 2-3 months? Why now? Why not in the starting? And we were told, we were allowed that they're going to let us wear scarves. And now they're telling we cannot wear scarves. That is not acceptable.
No, it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years I am studying in this college. Never this problem was there before. This is the 3rd year I'm studying in this college, and this time we have this problem. They are our own classmates who are turning opposite to us. So it's clear that these many days they are with us. Today they are not there. That's why we asked the permission to get in. We are wearing the college shawl to our head also. We miss them, but they are turning against us. That's the problem.
We're getting some details now of clashes that have broken out at the government first grade college in Shivamogga. MLA H. Halappa has reached the college to convince both the groups to drop their protests now. Clashes broke out on his arrival at the college as well. These are pictures coming in of the skirmishes that turned very dangerous over there. Harish is now joining us with more details. Harish, is the situation under control now?
Well, we believe the police had to intervene at this college, the government first grade college in Shimoga. The local MLA, Hartal Halappa, had gone there when 2 groups, the one opposing hijab, the one who wanted hijab, were protesting there. And as you can clearly see in those visuals, despite the MLA trying to convince both groups to stop this protest, wait for the High Court interim order to come in, both groups clashed right in front of the MLA over there, who's also the CDC chairperson there, and the police had to intervene later to ensure that the situation doesn't get out of hand. Most of these colleges have declared or suspended classes for the day. The Chief Minister has instructed that wherever the situation is tense, colleges and schools be shut tomorrow. Those orders have been told to the local DCs, and still we are witnessing the crowd gathering outside some of these colleges, and tense situation over there. Despite education officers, the local MLA, the CDC members reaching there, there doesn't seem to be any way out that these groups are backing off right now.
All right, Harish, just hold on to your thoughts there and stay on with us, because the situation is turning quite dangerous there in Karnataka and some of the districts, as you were pointing out earlier, and not just because the issue has snowballed into a major controversy, but as one of the students there was saying that their own classmates are now turning against them. Is that the kind of atmosphere we want on our campuses? That is the big question really that also comes through at the moment. Let me go across to our guests who are joining us on the show. Brinda Adige, women and child activist, Aashutoshsrivastava, a Supreme Court lawyer, and Yogita Bhayana, an activist, all joining us here on the show. Yogita, I want to come to you first, because we've seen today some very dangerous, I would say, setting dangerous trend-setting examples there, where we are seeing one girl walking into her college and she being heckled by a group of men. All this in the garb of the hijab row. How do you first of all respond to this sort of situation that is emanating in some of the institutions in Karnataka?
I'm very hurt as a citizen of this country, and as definitely women and child rights activists, especially coming from youth. I mean, we really never expected that this kind of politics, this kind of clash will go down to the students. I mean, please spare the students. And this is the least we should get to that level of kind of communalism and whatever. I don't have words. Actually, deeply hurt to see all this going on within the students community when they are clashing within themselves. So coming back to the original issue of hijab or no hijab, it's a social change. It takes time. You just cannot dictate it overnight. If it means you're telling somebody in the Gurukul not to wear saffron. It is as bad as that. If a yogi can be a chief minister wearing bhagwa and all the time representing and doing good work, as they praise him, so why can't girls wear hijab? And yes, it needs to change, but it is a very gradual change. It's a cultural shift. You cannot dictate it.
All
you
right.
have to
Yogita, I'll interrupt you there. Let me go across to our other two guests as well. I'll come back to you, Yogita. Aashutoshsrivastava, I want to come to you. The matter is now being heard by the court. We saw one of the students saying that she's been studying in that same institution where this matter has really erupted and become big, and these girls are prevented from attending class because they were wearing a hijab. She says she's been studying there for the past 2 years and it was never an issue. Now when college is about to end for them, in the last 3 months this has happened. Now if this matter is taken up in the judiciary, what will be the points that will be argued in this case? Because education for girls is the overarching cause here, over and above everything, isn't it, Ashutosh?
Right. See, there is an act in that is Karnataka Education Act 1983, and there is a provision, section 133 and subsection 2 of the same act, which says that the educational institutes in Karnataka will have the powers and rights, to make a kind of uniform, civil code, or a kind of uniform kind of a pattern they can put it on the student. So that is there. Obviously, there are other laws also, like Article 25, which says that people will have the freedom to have the religious faith and everything.
Yes.
So that is also there at the same time. Then there is Article 14, which says about equality. Nobody should be discriminated on the basis of caste, religion, or gender. So all these things have to be considered by the Karnataka High Court while deciding this particular matter, because there has to be a thin line which has to say about the state powers and the rules and regulations to regulate the educational institutes, in which even the uniform is also a kind of important factor, considering Article 14, which talks about the equality before law.
Right.
And
so we'll really have to see what way the High Court goes in this matter. Ashutosh, I will come back to you. Let me take in a word from Brinda Adige as well. Brinda, but the point here that the students are making is that this issue of a uniform and these girls not being able to attend classes because of their hijab has come up suddenly, just 2 to 3 months before they are to leave college. Under those circumstances, can we say that the college was, willing to exercise? All right, just hold on, Brinda, there. Let's cut across to the Chief Minister who's speaking on this issue.
This whole thing started in one school. However, now it has spread to other districts, which is very unfortunate. The matter is seized by the High Court. And similar situations were there in different states in different times, and High Courts have given a lot of judgments and directions also. And our matter is also in the High Court. As I speak now, the matter is in the proceedings in the High Court is going on. So as far as legality of the whole thing is concerned, we have put our case very clearly, constitutional and legal, Karnataka Education Act provisions we have been put. But however, we are waiting for the directions of the High Court. And outside, there has been some disturbances in few places. Therefore, I am appealing to the students that they have to maintain peace and harmony, because ultimately tomorrow they have to sit together and do all the educational activities, academic activities. Therefore, peace and harmony should be maintained. Second is I direct the school administration to see that peace is maintained and there is no occasion for clash of students. As well as I appeal to the teachers to see that peace is maintained in the respective institutions. Plus, I am asking all the concerned people from outside not to have a provocation statements and not to provoke the situation. It's a very sensitive issue as far as students are concerned. So the emotional, High Court has said that we will not go by emotion, we will go by the legality. Sir. So let us wait for the directions of the High Court. Till such time, there has to be peace to be maintained, and I appeal everyone to keep the peace.
Sir, the matter was also raised in Parliament today. Yeah. Now, what opposition parties are saying that through these tactics, BJP is trying to polarize or divide the country.
See, these are all the allegations which doesn't have any grounds. See, as a ruling party in Karnataka, we have got our own responsibilities to maintain law and order, peace, and proper education has to be given to the students. Therefore, we are just going by the law. There is no question of any other things. We are. That's why we have put our stand in front of the High Court legally, and that will be scrutinized by the judiciary. And let the judiciary come out, then we will abide whatever the court says.
So irrespective of this stand, do you think that this kind of messaging could look at others?
All right, let me go back to our guests who are joining us on the show. You just heard the Chief Minister there asking for people not to take law in their hand. The matter is being discussed in the court. The High Court is hearing the issue and also denying allegations by the other side, that is the opposition, that the BJP is trying to polarize the state of Karnataka. Let me go across to Brinda Dige, who's joining us here on this discussion this afternoon. Brinda, the question really here that arises is, can you deny women the education based on how they are dressed? Can this matter be only argued over this point in court?
Certainly not, because we as a nation, the politicians and our elected representatives are very clear that if empowerment has to happen, not only of the woman and the family and the community, but also of the state, you cannot deny education based on the clothes that girls are wearing. A. B. We need to ask ourselves, how does the hijab hinder any other student? It is a sentiment of a particular group of students belonging to a particular religion, and it is also not all the students, it is few of the students. It is their freedom of choice. As long as that scarf, which they call as a hijab, is not hindering another student's access to education, nobody can deny it. In the same vein, will the government tell that nobody should wear rudrakshas, nobody should wear, threads, sacred threads that people wear on their arms, or will the army tell that Sikh people should not wear their turbans? Well, all of these are freedom of choice. And that choice, as long as it does not hinder another citizen, I don't think anybody has the right to tell these students that education will be denied to you. Because denying that education, the state and the district administration and the school authorities are discriminating, which is a criminal offense.
Okay.
And that is why they must be pulled up.
Okay.
And these girls must get their education. You heard all of them. We heard them on your channel, where the girls are pleading very, very impassionately, asking, exams are coming. How can you deny us that education? COVID has taken away so much from all the children in our country. How can we deny that education to our girls simply because they wear a scarf that is also the color of their uniform?
All right.
Orange scarves are not
Okay.
the color of their uniform.
So let me go back to Aashutoshsrivastava for the points that you have raised. Ashutosh, Brinda Adige, they're arguing first of all that this can be discriminatory in nature. Also, there is a commitment, Ashutosh, for Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. But is it protected legally? Can we not that slogan? I'm asking you about the issue of education. Can any clause, precedents in court be stated to show that women deserve education under any circumstances?
See, I completely agree to the extent that education should not be denied on the basis of, the dresses and the wearings and things like that. Obviously, there should not be violation of Article 25, which says that everybody has freedom of rights to profess the, religion of their choice. But at the same time, the education system has to be also respected. There are certain sections, there are certain provisions in the state which says that there has to be a proper uniformity, among the
that is where, Ashutosh,
attending.
I want to interrupt you there because I want clarity on this particular point. You have rightly mentioned that in the 1983 Education Act of Karnataka, that power has been given to the institutions. But can they suddenly implement it arbitrarily, I would say, without any notice, because this is just last few months of the college? Can that point be argued legally?
See, that is the reason why the matter is before the High Court, and I'm sure the High Court will consider all these aspects whether all the terms, conditions, or the provisions laid down in the Act has been complied by the authorities while doing so. And obviously, it is the responsibility of all the authorities to maintain peace and order, and it should not be politicized at any cost. And that has to be ensured by the authorities, that they take care that the law and order should be under control. That is one part of it. But obviously, now the High Court has to see whether this Section 133, subsection 2 of the Karnataka Education Act is in violation of Article 25 of the Constitution or not. If the court is of the view, no, there are certain rights and powers of the educational institute, and this power does not take away the fundamental right of any Indian citizen under Article 25. In that case, the court may only see whether the provisions have been complied or not, whether there was any provision of giving notification, whether there was any need of, giving advance notice, or whether all these procedures have been followed, whether the authorities have sanctioned it, by following the procedures of law.
Ashutosh, why I asked you that question was because this is a matter of huge concern for these girls.